In the village of Nka lived a girl whose beauty was the stuff of songs and evening tales. Her name was Anwi. Anwi was not just beautiful, she was breathtaking. Skin like polished ebony, eyes that shimmered like the evening stars, and a voice that could calm quarrels. Even the wind seemed to pause when she passed. Naturally, many suitors came calling. There was Nje, the brave hunter with arms like tree and tales of taming wild beasts. There was Mfu, the humble farmer whose yam harvest fed half the village. And there was Babila, the quiet cattle rearer whose herds stretched across the hill. But Anwi dismissed them all. A hunter smells of blood and sweat, she said. A farmer's hands are stained with dirt. A cattle boy lives among flies and duck. She dreamed of a city man, one who wore perfumes instead of palm oil, silk instead of raffia, and shoes that shone like mirrors. Far beyond the hills, in the darkest part of the Besa forest, lived a wizard named Sang. He was feared and forgotten, for his face was twisted by years of sorcery and sorrow. No one dared to visit him. Children ran at the sound of his name. He had long watched Anwi from afar, through enchanted waters. He desired her, not just for her beauty, but for the pride that danced in her eyes. He hatched a plan that would shake the village to its roots. Using powerful spells, Sang borrowed a man's face from a sleeping traveler. He borrowed clothes from spirits of the mountain. He borrowed a city accent from the wind that passed through Yaoundé. Even the goat he rode into was borrowed from a blind herder. When he arrived, the village paused. Women stared, drums squeaked. He was dressed in glittering clothes. His shoes clicked like rain on zinc. He smelled like foreign soap and foreign lands. Even his teeth gleamed like moonlight. I am Mr. Ikema from the city, he declared, voice smooth as melted honey. I seek the hand of the fairest Anwi. Anwi's heart skipped. For 7 days, Ekema brought her gifts, mirrors, perfumes, canned drinks she couldn't pronounce. The village burst with envy. The hunter, the farmer, and the cattle boy watched in silence. Hearts sore but not surprised. Anwi caught in the sparkle, agreed to marry him. On the wedding day, the entire village gathered under the big baobab tree. Drums beat, elders chanted. Just as the final blessing was to be given, a gust of wind blew, fierce and strong. Suddenly, Ekema stumbled. His fine shoes turned to ash. His shirt became cobwebs. The borrowed face peeled off, revealing Sang's twisted, terrifying features. Gasps, screams, silence, and we fainted. When she awoke, Sang was gone, dragged back into the forest by forces unseen. The elders gathered, shaking their heads. A mirror cannot cook food, one said. Perfume fades, but yam fills the belly, another added. Anwi sat in silence, her pride shattered like a gout on a rock. The days after the wedding, that never was passed like a slow drizzle, quiet and heavy. Anwi no longer walked through the village with her chin in the clouds. Her beauty remained untouched, but something in her eyes had changed. The sparkle of pride was gone, replaced with a soft glow of reflection. Children still stared at her in awe, but now the adults watched with something different in their gaze: respect. She spent her mornings sweeping the compound of the village elders, her afternoons helping to teach young girls how to weave mats and wash calabashes. She no longer searched the road for the city, men, or gifts. Instead, she sat often beneath the mango tree in the village square, where stories flowed and lessons rooted themselves in silence. It was there that she met Atem. Atem was no longer a stranger. He had left the village as a boy, soft-spoken and always helping his mother carry firewood. Years later, he returned from the city, not in a car, not with suitcases, but on foot with dusty shoes, a simple bag, and a worn-out book under his arm. He was no wizard, no illusion. He was a teacher. When he returned to Nka to care for his aging father, no one noticed him at first, but soon the village's children followed him wherever he went, laughing, learning, repeating every word he said. One afternoon, Anwi watched from under her tree as Atem knelt to fix a child's torn sandal with a leather strap from his own slipper. That night, her thoughts wandered, not to his shoes, but to his heart. Atem did not court Anwi with perfumes or promises. He brought her banana pancakes from his mother's hut. He told her stories, real ones, sometimes with no happy endings, but always filled with truth. He laughed when she teased him and listened when she spoke of regret. One day she asked, "Why didn't you laugh at me like the others after the wizard's fall?" Atem smiled gently. He said, "Because even stars stumble, but they still light the sky." That was the day she knew. Their wedding was quiet, no glitter, no enchanted goods, no borrowed glory, but it was full. The hunter, the farmer, the cattle rearer came, each placing a small gift at her feet: a bracelet of carved bone, a bowl of ripe granules, a flute carved from elder wood. Not out of bitterness, but out of peace, she hugged them all. As the sun dipped behind the hills and the village lit up with drums and dancing, Anwi stood beside Atem, her eyes bright not from pride, but from contentment. Years later, Anwi and Atem turned their compound into a school under the mango tree, where every child, clean or muddy, pretty or plain, was welcomed. And when girls gathered around her asking, "Mama Anwi, how did you choose Nini Atem?" she would laugh and say, "I stopped looking for gold and found a river."